Here we go now.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. This is a special edition of our podcast, but also YouTube channel, because I am going to do a visual version, but this will be released exclusively on the podcast first. This is why it's important to follow us on the podcast, because I'm also releasing special episodes there. You guys have asked me, anytime you even see me at a concert, Kempire, I'm sure you'll be talking about this. So anytime I go to a concert, it is semi-work. So I'm sitting there at the Brandy and Monica concert. People have waited 27 years for this tour, but not really. I don't know if people were really talking about these two touring back when The Boy's Mind was dominating. Maybe they were. I don't recall those conversations, but I do know in recent years, even before Ray J mentioned it, that this was a conversation. This was something that people wanted them to come together to do, because I do, and we'll talk more about this, do feel like there is a karmic connection between Brandy and Monica, despite the rumors about fights and things like that. And look, one day, one day, maybe it'll be in the book. They'll talk more about everything and what people have said and the things that people are saying. But I will say this tour, if you go and you watch it, there's still several more dates around the country. First of all, the fact that they're doing this tour at their age, and this is sort of like the first time they're doing it on this level. One of my very first shows, concerts ever, was Brandy's Never Say Never tour. But this is even bigger than that, especially because of where their careers have come since Never Say Never. We've had the Full Moon album after that. We've had Aphrodisiac. We've had Human. We've had just so many different. Monica has had multiple. Look, she's had After the Storm. There's just so many other monumental projects that both of them have had after like the Boy's Mind project. So anyway, before I even get into my thoughts on the tour, the song selection, the performance, the energy of the room, I do want to say shout out to every single person that I ran into at the Brandy and Monica concert at Barclays. I don't go around. I mean, I don't go out the house that much. I do, but not in spaces where there are lots of people, okay? But I did go, and it was packed out at Barclays. Even the American Express entrance that I normally go through if I'm going to Barclays, that had a line. And that normally has a very small line. That had a long line. I was like, what's going on? So now I gotta maybe go get a guitar membership in order for me to get in easily. But even when we got inside, I was like, oh my God, it's like a sea of people. So I've ran into so many people from our community. Some of you watch me on TikTok. I always find it interesting, and I've said this before, I feel like more people say, oh, yes, I watch you on TikTok. Remember when I went to the doctor? The nursing assistant was like, oh, you're on TikTok. So this is why I don't give up on my TikTok, because I feel like it's introducing me to still more and more people. but I got to start redirecting them. Make sure you guys follow me on Tube or follow me on my podcast. Because look, the Tube, all these platforms could go away tomorrow. So just make sure you follow me everywhere because God forbid, knock on wood. Okay. But it was fantastic seeing some of you. And look, if I didn't hear you, please understand it was a lot of people. Okay. Because I don't know. There could have been people that saw me and said something I didn't hear. It was loud coming into Barclays. And if we weren't able to take a picture together, there were lots of people. But shout out to the one lady I did. There was one lady, two ladies that I took pictures with that we were able to stop. But even then, that we were taking pictures and people were exiting. So it was a little crazy. It was a little crazy. But I'm glad to see a lot of you guys came to the concert. And I told you, if you saw me, to say hello. And if you didn't, that's on you. It's okay, though. It's okay. Next concert. What is the next concert? Who's going on tour next? Right now, Brandy and Monica are probably like the biggest tour happening right now. Originally, okay, I'll spill some tea. Because I knew about this tour before a lot of y'all did. And remember, I posted about it on X a little bit. I hinted, I don't spill too much. Because I got sources. I got sources in different places. Places y'all would not even realize. And I got a mayday. I was like, what happened? So apparently this tour was supposed to happen over the summer. And I don't know, because then you saw there was a lot of speculation about infighting, blah, blah. There's always going to be that, whatever. And I don't know if there's any truth to that. But I do know that they were planning to announce this tour for the summer. I'm glad that they waited, because I feel like they're the hot ticket right now. And I feel like that also has helped. I think people would have gone to the tour regardless. But sometimes when there's an oversaturation of tours happening at the same time, we're also literally, our economy right now is on the verge. And a lot of people are suffering, SNAP, all this stuff. But you couldn't tell at Barclays. It was a sold out show. I'm not surprised. And they put on one hell of a show. I'm not going to get into it just yet. Because please understand, for those that are going to watch and think that this is just going to be me blowing smoke up your you-know-what, and I'm not going to be critical, because this is a review. So if you're here for me to be a stan, I will be. Because look, I will share all the things that I love, but I will also be a little critical, because that's what you're here for. This is a review. If you just thought, okay. No, this is a review. I'm going to give my critiques. I'm going to give my thoughts on what should be added, changed, which I'm thinking we're going to see some of that happen, which they've been doing. Brandy and Monica, you're on tour together. You should be performing It Belongs to Me. I know the single didn't do well. It did well in my house. Your house too? Right. But overall, it wasn't The Boy Is Mine. And I understand why you still do it. But when they first started the tour, they were performing It Belongs to Me. Y'all need to bring that back. I mean, it's too late for me to see y'all do it, but whatever. I was considering going to another city. I don't know if I'm going to do that, y'all. It's the holidays. Gas is high. Kempire, you don't drive. Shut up. The economy. Just saying. Anyway. I don't want to start with my thoughts on Brandy and Monica just yet. Okay? All right? And I am going to talk about some of the tea that came out from the Brooklyn show. Just saying. Can y'all imagine the stuff that I haven't told you? Can you imagine the stuff I haven't told you? Because I sit on a lot of information. I'm a vault. And I've been sitting on some information for years. Just saying. I'm very trustworthy. You tell me I can't say something, I won't say it. All right. Anyway, back to this. So I bought my ticket as soon as the tickets went on sale for the Brandy and Monica tour. I don't know if I could say it sooner, but it was like that week, whenever that week was. I bought my tickets. Okay, that was probably during the summer. As I said to you before, the tea was that this was supposed to be a summer tour, but I think it worked out for the best that it was this tour. I'm kind of mad because what I should have done was get tickets for that included the meet and greet, but I wanted good seats. I'm very particular. Like, I want a good view. But the tickets that they were giving the option for meet and greets, I didn't like the seats. They were a little too far away from me. I should have gotten the meet and greet, though. I should have gotten the meet and greet because I've interviewed Brandy 500 times at this particular point. But then at the same time, at the same time, I'm just sort of like, okay, I've met her before. We've interviewed multiple times. I'm just really here to take in the show, and I don't need you to influence me before I watch the show. Maybe if I go to another city, I'll buy the meet and greet and go see her. Okay. Anyway, before we even get to their portion of the show, I get to the show. It's busy. It is so busy. And mind you, I got there fairly early. I was there by like 7:40, and the show doesn't start till 8. And technically, Brandy and Monica don't come out till like almost 10. Okay. And I'm so mad that I missed Jamal. So Jamal is the current American Idol. I have not seen him perform. I really had every intention to see him perform, but trying just to make my way to my seat, I guess he must have come out, did his thing, and left. So I saw Frank Gatstein. You know Frank Gatstein, legendary. He's worked with Brandy, but he's also worked with Beyonce during her prime years. He just recently posted on social media that they're going to be adding 5 new songs. So he was asking what 5 new songs should they add. Okay, I said to myself today, I was talking with a friend, and I said, you know what song they should add? They should add Broken Heart. I mean, she does do Broken Hearted, but add Broken Hearted, and maybe one of the cities, bring Wanye. I don't know where Wanye and Brandy are in regards to their friendship, because you remember there were rumors that they did. I don't know if there were rumors that they dated at one particular point. So I don't know if that might be awkward. But then I said to myself, well, no, Jamal is on tour with them. A lot of people do not get to see this young man's performance, unfortunately, because you know us in our CP time, even though I was on time. But a lot of people do not get to see the opening act, and I really wanted to see the opening act. And here's the thing, though. By the time I made it to my seat, it was 8 o'clock. So the show ticket says 8 o'clock. Poor Jamal is not getting any sort of play. But Brandy, this is what you can do. I know you'll get this. Somebody send it to her. Brandy, what you guys can do is include him and have him perform Broken Hearted with you. And then you can introduce him to the audience, because a lot of times the audience they don't even know that he's on this tour. And I feel for him. He's a new artist. American Idol is not what it used to be. And he's beautiful. Beautiful man, beautiful skin, but he has a beautiful voice. A beautiful voice. So I think that'd be a nice way to kind of include him before the tour ends, so people can be introduced to him. Some of y'all don't even know he's on the tour. He's the current American Idol black man. Yeah, can sing his face off. Whoa, 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 Jamal. I'm rooting for you, though. Let me go stream that song. All right. Anyway, so Jamal has his performance, but I'm out here trying to get to my seat because I'm on the floor. And the way that Barclay is set up is weird. So you have to kind of go through one of the sections, and then you have to go down the stairs in order to get there. So by the time I got there, he was already off the stage. I didn't even hear him. All I heard was music, but then I was like, is that him? So shout out to Jamal. I'm sorry I did not get to see your performance, but I made it in time for Money Long. 'Tis the season to keep your home clean, and we are partnering with our friends over at Home Aglow to help you with just that. One of the things that I found hardest when I was looking for a cleaner for my home was the fact that it was hard to find. And a lot of times, unless you are speaking to people from word of mouth, it's hard to find someone that you can trust in your home that's actually going to do a good job. So today's live is sponsored by our friends over at Home Aglow. Home Aglow is a 5-star home service platform dedicated to making your space clean and tidy. With their easy online booking capabilities, you can instantly schedule top-rated cleaners in your area for a special occasion or regularly with their Forever Clean membership. And Thanksgiving is right around the corner. The holidays are right after that. And Home Aglow is going to make it so easy for you to book someone to come in and clean up before you have family come over or after your family came over and ruined everything. Well, maybe not everything. Home Aglow, as I said to you before, makes it so easy to do all of this online. I literally have tried them, and they did a fantastic job. To schedule a cleaning, you simply go to Home Aglow's website to choose the day and time that you're looking for and the duration of your cleaning to match with a cleaner. Schedule as quickly as this week or get something on the calendar for next month to check it off your to-do list early. You can see photos and reviews of background check cleaners before booking the right cleaner for you. The best part of their Forever Clean membership, which saves you $30 an hour on future cleanings. Book unlimited cleanings starting at $19 an hour, backed by Homoglow's happiness guarantee. Homoglow services are only available in the US. I know we're worldwide, but it's only available in the US. And of course, we've got you covered with a discount, of course. Head on over to the description for more details on your discount. But to take home cleaning off your plate this holiday season by using Homoglow, head to homoglow.com/Kempire to get your first 3 hours of cleaning for only $19. That's HOMEAGLOW.com/Kempire. More details on Homoglow and your discount will be available in the description. Now let's get back to the show. So for those of you that don't know my history with Money Long, yes, I got history with Money Long. Not that kind of history. Calm down. How you doing? Not that kind of history. But I remember Money Long when she was Priscilla Renee on YouTube. She didn't have a record deal. She was just very much like we see artists do now on TikTok and things like that. She was on YouTube singing, writing her own songs. And I remember thinking to myself, and this is before I did anything. Like I was just up and coming, doing my own thing too. And I said, you know what? If I had a record label, I would sign this young lady. At that particular point, I'm telling you, this is before she wrote a hit for anybody. This is before she had her own solo deal. And I loved her. And she had been on Kempire Radio. For those that don't know Kempire Radio, that's where everything began. There's still old interviews with Priscilla Renee so that's what you would have to look up if you looking it up, Priscilla Renee, before she was Money Long. And I remember her first project wasn't very R&B. And I think that's why people didn't connect with her project. I think they didn't understand who she was as an artist. But she continued to work behind the scenes as a songwriter and then went on to write big hits for people like Rihanna. She wrote hits for, I believe, Kesha. She wrote so many different hits behind the scenes until she started writing and created this new persona, Money Long. So I felt invested in coming to see her performance because I was like, oh my gosh, I remember watching her on YouTube years ago, interviewing her for Kempire Radio and seeing her evolution and her success to being on tours with these ladies and on with Chris Brown. So I really wanted to be there for this performance. And as you know, she was ill, so she had missed a few dates and they brought Maya out. So Money came out and performed. And so for those that came to the show or you've seen Money in other cities, and you might not know this, a lot of people don't know this, that she has lupus. So that's part of some of her sickness that she's been going through. And she came out and you could tell her energy was low, but her vocals were strong. Her energy was definitely low and it was kind of very just very low energy from the moment she came out to the moment she left. But again, if you don't know that she has been sick and that she's struggling with lupus, that kind of thing, then you might not understand. And you might be like, oh, she was kind of sleepy. I didn't really like her. But the vocals were vocaling. I have to give it to her. And I love her songs from beginning to end. I was like, this is a great performance. Even when she spoke to the audience, she was funny. I was like, is this a comedy show? Because it was such a great segment. And she didn't have a lot of time, but the time that she was given, she did the most with it. But I did notice that her performance was low energy. I will say this, and this is no shade to Money Long, because at the end of the day, she's the only one on this tour with current hits on the radio. That's not shade, that's just a fact. So it's still a good look to have her be a part of the show and the tour. But because this is a review, I saw Maya during the Queens of R&B tour. The Queens of R&B tour, if you remember my review and me talking about that, I said Maya, I had never seen Maya perform live before, like in person, like a performance. And I was so impressed. I was like, oh my gosh, we do not give Maya enough flowers because she is still stellar. Live vocals, dancing her butt off. So I thought it was a perfect addition of her being a part of those dates to fill in for Money Long. But then after seeing this entire show, I feel like Maya would have been it would have been seamless. Even Jamal, I think fantastic opportunity for him. It's just not a good fit for the female power of this tour. because I think it would have been perfect. Maya come out. I mean, quiet as is kept. I love me some Kelly Rowland. You know I do. You know I do. Love me some Kelly Rowland. Okay? But quiet as is kept. Doesn't Maya have more hits than Kelly? Like solo hits. We're not talking about Destiny's Child. But off the strength of her being a part of Destiny's Child, the number one selling female group of all time, I'm going to keep the segment like this. Okay, calm down. Maya comes out first. Who should have come out before Maya if we replace Jamal? Jamal, do not take offense to this. I'm just giving my thoughts. I think you're incredibly talented. What up and coming artist? Normani? Immediately came to mind. Normani. Normani could have came out and did her thing on this tour because she's a dancer and a singer and R&B pop. So I feel like Normani should have started it, but then all of y'all would have missed Normani. No, I would have made sure I was in there for Normani. Look, I would have been, because I've never seen her perform, like I would have made sure I was there for Normani. So then Normani comes out, does her thing, then Maya, then Kelly Rowland. That's just my thought, and then Brandy and Monica. Because when you look at Brandy and Monica's set, it's high energy, it's lots of dancing, singing, it's pop R&B. We're going to get to that in a second. Kelly. And the second is now. One. Here we are. So shout out to Money Long. I think she did a fantastic job. She sounded great. Her new song, Delulu, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't even know about this song. Did she sing Superpowers? I think she did. It's hard to remember every single song that they sang, especially when you're in that moment. All the songs just sort of like mold together. You're like, wait, did she perform that song? And the way that Brandy and Monica do some of their stuff, even though they're not performing every song, they're like these little interludes where they include some of the songs they're not performing, like Right Here Departed, the dance mix. Brandy. People want to hear Right Here Departed. I know that album didn't do well, but still, we love that song. Okay. But anyway, so Money Long did her thing. Again, if you have an opportunity to go see, go early, go support Jamal, go support Money Long. Kelly Rowland. So shout out to the Kelly Rowland fan pages because I didn't realize, because I haven't seen Kelly on this tour. Apparently her intro was new and it was dynamic. Immediately, it was sort of like, okay, we have arrived, because it's like boom. And then there's like a flash of her, a silhouette of her. And then she does multiple changes throughout this. It's like a play. The multiple changes is sort of like she's wearing the same outfit, but it's like different jackets, hats, and things. I was like, okay, Kelly's body is bodying. I don't like to subject to just her beauty. And that's one of the things I have to say after watching her performance. I know people are just stunned by how beautiful she is, but she's always had a beautiful spirit. If you've seen interviews with her, she's always had a beautiful spirit. Sidebar. Did you guys see what she had to say to Andy Cohen about Candy? She's like, I love Candy. I remember working with Candy during Destiny's Child. She was always so gracious. She's like, don't nobody talk a damn bad word about Candy. Okay. Also, did you notice when he asked about, Andy asked an indirect way about, I have to give him credit. Not me giving Andy Cohen credit. Of course, because, that's how I am. I don't care if I don't like one thing that you do. If you do something right or if you deserve credit, I'm going to give you your credit. I like the fact, instead of asking about Beyonce or Destiny's Child reunion, he had a roundabout way asking about how Kelly Rowland's kids, do they know, your son, does he know, Auntie Michelle and Beyonce are, part of this big mega group? And she answers it because she was trained by Matthew Knowles. If you ever seen any recent interviews with Matthew Knowles, that man is smart. No matter how we feel about how he did Tina Knowles, never mind. We went down a whole rabbit hole. Y'all remember that time when we went down that rabbit hole about how that cheatation situation went down? In the worst way, Matthew. But I have to say, I respect his business acumen when it comes to how he trained these women to today still being some of the best in the industry. Michelle as well, even though she didn't grow up with them, she definitely trained under Matthew Knowles. And Matthew gave Michelle Williams her flowers. But he was like, she worked so perfectly with this group because she was like the light in that group. She was exactly what they needed at that particular time. I say all that to say, so Andy asked her about that. And the way that Kelly answered the question. Kelly does not like it when you guys ask about Beyonce in her interviews. She's made it clear she's tired of it. Kelly has told you guys she is a solo star now. She's had multiple albums. She's toured on her own. Some of you still say that she shouldn't be opening up for Brandy and Monica. She doesn't have that many solo hits, y'all. Even when you look at her set, and I loved her set. Her set might be one of my favorites of the entire show, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was like, whoa. I already saw clips. I've seen multiple clips during this time. But at the same time, I was just like seeing a person seeing how it moved throughout, and she's singing live. And one of the things that stood out to me, okay, let me just backtrack. Let me just finish out my thought in regards to the Andy interview. So she answers the question. She's like, Auntie Mimi's playing football. I forgot what she said. Playing ball with him outside, and that's Auntie Mimi. And then Auntie Bibi is inside teaching him not to be scared of robots. So she's like, that's how they view them, not the whole Destiny's Child aspect. And the way she ended it, I was like, it was a little bit of a toot. If Kelly Rowland, you've seen interviews, it was a little bit of a toot, but in a professional way. And I get it. She doesn't like being asked about that. But Kelly, it's a part of your history. And at least he didn't ask you directly. I mean, I didn't see the full interview about Beyonce and things like that. But it's a part of your history. It's so a part of your history that it's included in your set. And I love that. I love that. I love how you included it in your set. It was, you could tell she put a lot of work into it. And Cyborg, because here I got tea. Look, I got tea. Kelly, from what I've heard, according to my sources, for the New Jersey show, was working out her performance for the New Jersey show, because you saw she made some changes to her set in New York, but she also welcomed Patti LaBelle to the stage at the New Jersey show that they did the other night. So Kelly is the ultimate professional. Her performance, look, I've seen clips. Kelly has been touring the world. Most recently, I think she was like in Australia. So she's been doing solo shows and things like that. But to see it here in the States and just to see how she was perfecting it, the dancing, but what stood out to me, not just the dancing, because I'm sure you've seen the clips on social media. If you haven't, you should see the clips or go see them in person, of course. And just how again, this is a 40-something-year-old woman, and her body is just on point, but just the moods, you could tell this is the training from being in Destiny's Child. The other part of being trained under Matthew Knowles and being a part of Destiny's Child, but also being in a group with Beyonce, who she has said, I forgot what interview it was, she has said being around someone like Beyonce, you're going to always up your game and just try to be better. So she has a different mode. And one of the things that I said after the concert, I said, when people say that someone has the it factor, I know a lot of people like, well, that's Beyonce. Kelly Rowland has the it factor. And it's not just because Kelly's beautiful inside and out. No. As a performer, Kelly Rowland has the it factor. A lot of those women on that stage have the it factor, but I don't think Kelly gets enough credit for the amount of it factor. And what stood out to me, do you guys remember The Voice, where it's a viral clip where she's helping them, she's mentoring them, and she's letting them understand about harmonizing. And she's like, well, this is what I used to do in the group. And then she just harmonizes really quick with the singers. And I was so impressed. But then you get to see that on stage, the way that she harmonizes with her backup singers. I was just like, and just the little runs and changes that she did with them. If you are, because I'm a singer, I haven't released a single yet. Well, I have released a single. You can go get it, Kempire. Go Google schmoogle it. But as a singer, I'm sure singers that were in there, because a lot of singers were in there, probably were like, oh, I see what she's doing here. She was dynamic. Her stage presence was dynamic. Jay-Z was in the building at the Barclays. I don't believe Beyonce was. Beyonce was definitely at the Newark show. Where's Julius? Because I didn't like the fact, and I know that there was security there, but I'm looking and I'm like, where's Julius? And Julius Julius, Julius, her security guard, her bodyguard, he has his own family. I know. You're like, he has his own life. He has a family, children, apparently. So I rarely ever not see her with Julius, but I'm worried because I'm like, Julius, I feel like they're dropping the ball. I think Julius also has a security company. So probably the people that were protecting Beyonce at the show are a part of the security company. Well, somebody needs to be written up. I didn't like how the situation was backstage. It was too many people because if Julius was there, I feel it would be a different 6 feet. 6 feet. Beyonce is so lovely though, because I've heard some of the audio and she was hugging Patti LaBelle backstage at the Newark show. I wasn't there yet, but I've been paying attention. And she says to Patti LaBelle, because Patti came there to show love to everyone, but she was really there for Kelly Rowland. And Beyonce says to Patti, "Thank you so much for doing this." That's her. Kelly Rowland is her sister. They threw a party for Kelly Rowland. I think it was after the LA show. That's her sister. Not everyone's siblings are blood. That is her sister. And if you see the footage from the Newark show, Solange was there, and Solange, when Kelly saw Solange, she was like, "Oh my God," because Solange don't be coming out the house like that. So when she does, Solange looked gorgeous. Solange didn't have a lick of makeup on, and she was just stunning. I know when Solange is like 60 something years old, we're all gonna be like, "Look at that." She's just gonna have like beautiful gray hair. I can see it already. Solange. I wonder if Solange got a chance to see Brandy because she's a huge Brandy fan. They didn't take a photo with Brandy. They did take a photo with Monica. I don't think Beyonce stayed for the entire show. So I don't know if she's seen Brandy and Monica's performance yet, but there's still a few more dates. Maybe she'll show up at the Houston show because that's going to be a big show for Kelly Rowland too, because that's where she grew up. So I was so impressed by Kelly Rowland. Just coming out of it, her performance really stood out to me. Not only did she look great, the little intricacies of what she did with the harmonies with her backgrounds, just the choreo with her dancers, everything was on point. So when I heard that for the Newark show that she was in there just sort of figuring things out, perfecting her craft, perfecting her show, I'm not surprised by that at all. And you could tell based off of what you're getting and the way that you would have thought that this was her show or that she is co-headlining, but you get what I mean? She's really opening up for Brandy and Monica, but her dynamic immediately, just everything that came out, it was just like from the graphics behind her to the dancers to her backup singers. And she did like all of her own popular songs. And she did just a throwback to some old songs, Destiny Child songs. And then she closes out with, of course, Dilemma. So here's the thing. Because look, this is my review. Okay. Kelly, pull up, girl. You know I love you. I'm a huge fan. However, and I said this in a tweet before you went on to do this, and I get it. I've heard from very good sources that you've always wanted a bigger R&B career. However, for those that are real fans of Kelly Rowland, you know that she's had a huge dance career in regards to her music. And you know, I can't wait for her to play Donna Summer. Okay? I'm looking forward to that. And I feel like you missed something with not including When Love Takes Over or even including a Donna Summer song. I do feel like you should add a little bit of that, something of that. I get it. You feel like this is an R&B show, an R&B tour. But the great thing about Brandy and Monica is that their songs were R&B pop. Monica had a little bit more edge with some of her songs, but she also had some R&B pop songs. They had pop stuff. You could have, even Brandy in one of her little segues, they do the Right Here Departed dance mix. So this is the perfect tour for you to do all of your hits. Because please understand, everybody in that room, I know it was Brooklyn, but everybody in that room would have been like, "Oh my God, that's my song." Okay? So that is the only thing that I would say that I wish Kelly would have added were some of her dance hits and really celebrated that. But that's me. But overall, I thought it was a dynamic performance. I think she did a fantastic job. So we had Money Long, Kelly Rowland, and now the show. Okay, there's a little bit of a break in between. They did do some breaks in between, and then they would promote Brandy's movie that's coming out on Lifetime, a Christmas movie, and then just some other things that they were promoting. You also know Brandy has a book coming out next year as well, but they weren't promoting that. Anyway, so then Brandy and Monica finally come out. So I'm not going to spoil it for you. They come out together and they have this sort of like versus moment in regards to, for those that saw the verses during the pandemic, where Monica is watching Brandy perform What About Us, and then they move into Monica's set. They looked amazing. Monica keeps changing up that hair. I was not ready for the pink hair. She came out with the pink hair. I don't know if that's a celebration of Brooklyn's own, the Queen Bee. Maybe it was. Maybe it was. So they come out, and first of all, what I don't think people get to see, because a lot of times you're watching some of the performances on your phone, so people are only filming Brandy or Monica, and you're not seeing the full set. One of the things that stood out to me from the tour was the art direction, the graphics. That's what stood out to me. The huge screen that they had behind them was giving money, was giving, this is a top tier tour. This is giving, this is a legacy. This is giving iconic. And one of the things that stood out to me, and I get why people that have gone to the show and they come out of there crying or they're emotional, because Brandy and Monica, I don't think, get enough recognition for how important they were during their era of music in the 90s. First of all, I'm a huge 90s head. I think 90s was the best time in music ever. I'm sorry, I know the old heads will be like, well, that was the 60s, that was the 70s, that was maybe the 80s. But the 90s was a time where an artist like Brandy could do a Bryan Adams song or do Divas and sing a country song, and everyone would be like, yes, you should do that song. And the 90s was a time where R&B reigned. It was a time where hip hop had great music. It was a time when rock had great music, alternative had great music, country had great music. It was just, I feel like it was like the golden age of music, okay? And culture, not even just music. When we think about 90s television and movies, it was a pinnacle time. But I know I'm probably biased because that's the era that I grew up in. But no, we have some iconic albums from the 90s. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Come on, Never Say Never. Monica's album, The Boy Is Mine. I will still, and I'm not blaming Monica for this, I will never understand why the record label said, let's name this album The Boy Is Mine. I get it was a number one single, but it wasn't even really Monica's official single. It was a Brandy single that they included Monica later on. So I never understood that, and I get it. And this is the label. This is not on Monica. The label was like, oh, this is like a number one song. Let's name your album that. She could have named, and that's a really, Monica's The Boy's Mind album is a really good album. They could have named it The First Night. They could have named it Street Symphony. I'm so glad she performed Street Symphony, because I feel like that's more in essence of who Monica is. But even during that time, they were trying to make Monica crossover, that R&B pop. So they wanted her to cover up her tattoos. They didn't want her to be too edgy, that kind of thing. Like, she still had that edge, but they didn't want her too edgy. So I understand where they're like, oh, we're going to call it The Boy Is Mine. It never made sense. I know for the Brandy fans, they were like, this doesn't make sense. Why is her name the name of the album Boy Is Mine? I'm digressing, because I don't want people to start falling into that, oh, Brandy versus Monica. It's not that deep, okay, y'all? And this is what I've been saying for years. I love Brandy. I've interviewed Brandy. I've never interviewed Monica. I would love to interview Monica. But I love both of their music. And I've always loved both of their music. I've never fell into the whole Brandy versus Monica, who's better. Like, I never got into those arguments with people on social media. I'm not doing that. Because one of the things I will never understand are people fighting over accolades that you don't have. Fighting over accolades that you don't have. Both of these women are so accomplished and set records and did all kinds of things, and they are in the history books. And you are on social media arguing about other people's accolades. You better go work on your own. And it doesn't have to be in this field. It could be in whatever field. But arguing about other people's accolades, I'm like, really? Is that what we're doing? No, I'm not doing that. But anyway, I've digressed. So they start off that way in regards to this sort of like versus battle. They look phenomenal. They come out of the elevator, they come down, and it's a very Michael Jackson moment where they're sort of just like pop, pop. And then it's just like, let's look at the audience. And then they take off their sunglasses. Michael Jackson is the blueprint. There is no one like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson, the blueprint for stage presence in that era. Okay. And you see so many artists do it nowadays. I mean, Beyonce does it too. Beyonce is a product of Michael Jackson. So with these conversations about Michael versus Beyonce, I was like, y'all better stop. Stop comparing someone to the blueprint. Stop with that. Even Beyonce be like, stop. No. Beyonce is just so humble. She really is humble. But she's done the work to be where she is and to get the respect that she deserves. But this is not about Beyonce. Let's talk about Brandy and Monica. So they come out and they do their different songs. And yes, I'm sure some of you are going to be like, well, I wish they would have done this song or that song. And what I've seen based off of people that have attended some of the earlier shows, there's some songs that they've removed. Like I said before, It All Belongs to Me. I mean, I understand removing some of your singles that maybe you just don't want to perform or you don't feel like performing, it doesn't work with the set, whatever. But It Belongs to Me, you guys only have 2 singles together. That should never have been removed. Okay? You should put it back and take Maxi B off the stage. Look, first of all, the tea in regards to the Barclays performance was the fact that Ja Rule may have gotten jumped. First, they were saying he got jumped somewhere else. But we can confirm, because we've seen the video footage, that they tried to jump him. Max B's crew, allegedly, I'm going to say, tried to jump Ja Rule backstage. Ja Rule was supposed to perform at the Brooklyn show, but he ended up leaving. I don't blame him. Who else came? Okay, the only person that I really loved that came out as a special performer was Ciara, because maybe I have though. I don't recall. Ciara came out as a special performer and performed a couple of her hits, and then who came after that? I don't remember who came after that, but I think it was Max B. Max B came out. I wasn't really familiar, and shout out to those of you that are part of our community that I saw on the way out, and we were joking. I was like, that was my opportunity to sit on down, because we were standing the entire time just enjoying the show. I was like, this is a perfect opportunity for me to sit on down and rest these feet. I don't know this song. I don't know who this man is. He just got out of prison, and now your crew allegedly is fighting backstage. Really? And I don't even know what the beef is. I wonder if Monica even knew that she probably didn't know that they had beef, inviting Max B, and he's about to jump Ja Rule. Here's the thing, though. Can I just say this? Because, again, this is my review. This is not some of these additional performers. Monica, girl, you got to read the room, though. Because why did you invite the baby? It wasn't in New York. The baby, I think it was with North Carolina. The baby on stage. Girl. Read the room. No. And then who else did she bring out recently? Oh my goodness. Who was the performer? Oh my goodness. This is going to annoy me. There was another performer she brought out that I was like, ooh, did she not get the memo? Who was it? Oh my God, that's going to piss me off. It was another person. I can't remember who it was. I don't remember who it was. Was it at... Oh man, that's going to annoy the hell out of me. But look, here's the thing. We don't need a lot of these additional performances if this means that you guys are going to take away some of the songs. I see in New Jersey they had Neo. That makes sense. He's an R&B artist. That makes more sense than bringing out some of these other hip hop artists. We don't need these rappers coming. I feel like every time I go to a Barclays show, they bring out Fat Joe as a special guest to sing All the Way Up. We don't need that. I didn't care for it. Ciara makes sense. Atlanta, R&B, pop, perfect. Max B. Okay. All right. Fine. Did they have any other special? Tyrese. Tyrese came out. Look, we could say a lot about Tyrese, and we will. But I have to say, he looked good in person. He looked older, but he is older. Come on. We are all going to age. He's aging gracefully. He looked great. And he sounded even better. I just saw video footage. I'm not going to name it. Why do I care? Jay Holiday. And who else was there? and sounding a hot mess. I'm sorry. They had some sort of performance here recently in New York and sounded a hot mess. So when Tyrese came out and said, "Sweet lady, won't you be mine?" and sounded amazing, I was like, well, he might be problematic in a lot of different ways, but brother can sing. Who the hell did Monica bring out that I knew was problematic? And I was like, Monica, read the room. I can't remember. You guys will remind me on socials or if you're watching the video. Who was it? It was someone else that was, all of them could be a little problematic. But who was it? I mean, somebody say, I don't know. I think about Max B. Somebody say he was problematic. I don't know. Did he unalive somebody and that's why he went to jail? I don't know. Look, I don't know. That's going to annoy the hell out of me. Hold on. I need to figure out who this was, y'all. Because I know you're all going to be like, yeah, who was it? Who was it? Let me see. Because I feel like, hold on, wait a minute. Sometimes I'm like, let me see. Oh, damn it. I'm not going to be able to figure this out tonight, y'all. But it's all right. What I will say, one of my critiques, we don't need all these different special guest performers unless it makes sense, especially if it's hip hop performers. Sidebar. Here I go dropping tea. Apparently, Mace was supposed to come to the Brooklyn show, but I guess there was a schedule conflict. And then I heard that he was going to do New Jersey, but I don't know what happened there. So Mace was going to make an appearance. Mace and Brandy have a song together, Top of the World. So I almost said 100% Mace is coming out. He didn't. Because he's New York. But no, he didn't. Whatever. I really thought they were going to bring out Lil' Kim because every time there's a Barclays performance, they bring out Lil' Kim, which I don't mind. But I'm glad they didn't. Oh, remember they were saying that Ray J. Oh, here I go. I'm dropping so much tea. Shout out to our podcast community. So Ray J, remember Ray J was on the Breakfast Club before the Barclays performance, and he said, I'm gonna come out, I guess sing One Wish. I don't even know the rest of the damn song. So apparently Ray J was too late. I thought based off of his interview and him revealing that Sarah, his niece, Brandy's daughter, that there was some sort of issue between his new girlfriend and Sarah, and they still hadn't resolved it. I was just like, and if you watch the actual interview, it seemed like Sarah was like, like she is not interested in this Kim K looking wannabe. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, is that the reason why he didn't come out? Because Brandy was like, I don't know him no more and I'm blocking him again? Because remember, they resolved their issues. It was at the Atlanta show and they hugged each other. I don't know if they resolved their issues, but they did a whole public thing and they hugged each other on stage. But it seems like he's back in the fold with the family. So apparently, y'all, Ray J arrived late. So that's the only reason why we didn't get him at the Brooklyn show. I'm okay with that. Probably too. Who knows what Ray J was doing? I'm glad because a lot of you like Kempire, he's going to be performing. And I was like, and I would boo him. So I'm glad I didn't have to boo him. So whatever. Who the hell did Monica bring out that I was just like, he's problematic too? I don't remember. Look, I don't remember. I will say this. Backstage, Lala Anthony was at because Lala is a part of that girl group, not girl group, literally, like the friend group with Kelly, Lala, Kim Kardashian, Vanessa Bryant, Serena Williams. I really haven't seen Serena with them, though, lately. You just never know if these friendships are no longer what they used to be. But Lala and Kelly and Ciara, they recently did an Apple, I guess Ciara has a Apple Music podcast or something like that. So they're tight. But my issue with Lala, I recently did it. Are you okay, Lala? Because she promoted Andrew Cuomo in the mayoral race. Andrew Cuomo, the same one that was accused by 13 different women of sexual harassment, hence why he stepped down as the governor. And then he had all these little crazy things that he was saying during this mayoral race, like diversity is not great. Excuse me? But you see how Donald Trump is changing his tune. Zohran Mamdani went down to the White House, and all of a sudden, Trump is just like Google Gaga over him. You're not here for this. But anyway, I had to give you some background. So I don't know if Lala's the one I'm thinking of, She didn't bring her out though, but Lala was backstage. She's problematic enough. But it's okay. Whatever. You guys will move on and forget about Lala and her promoting this sexual harasser. It's all right. All right. Let me focus. But if you're watching the video version of this, don't forget to like the video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just me, but my channel and other channels as well. And if you're listening to the podcast version, don't forget to give us a 5-star review. We should be well over 1,000 reviews on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. I don't know where we are because I haven't checked in a very long time. But I always remind you guys, we should be at like 10,000 reviews. Based off the downloads, we should definitely be a few thousand reviews. Just saying. But thank you. I appreciate you guys listening, even if you don't leave a review. The downloads actually matter more, if we're going to be honest. Okay, growing podcast. And we're dropping this first on the podcast. So shout out to our podcast listeners that are faithful. And I'm going to drop this. I'll probably drop this sucker tonight. Yes, so you guys don't have to wait. You're going to get a nice... No, maybe I'll drop it tomorrow, y'all. Maybe I'll drop it tomorrow. Just because you also got to, like, wean out some of your content. Because I dropped, like, 2 episodes already on Saturday. So, anyway, I've digressed. Back to Brandy and Monica. I have digressed all the way. So, Brandy and Monica, watching their set, the art direction... beautiful, because even when they're up there, like the middle of the screen is sometimes showing different graphics and stories and things like that. Then when they're performing on the side screens, they're just showing like these different, I guess, pre-recorded things that they've done that are very artsy. I will say this. I liked a lot of what they did with the graphics. There were some cheesy moments. Some moments that I'm like, you could change that. That looks a little cheap. That looks a little cheesy. But it wasn't the majority. I will say overall, the graphics were big, dynamic, beautiful. Oh, I love when Brandy comes out in that red coat and she's performing Almost Doesn't Count, and just the silhouette of just the sun. And it's a beautiful, beautiful image and set and coloration that they did with that. What I also love, and both Monica and Brandy deserve this, you see the celebration of both their careers during this tour, which I think was important because it's not just a tour of them promoting a project. No, they don't have a project out. This is a celebration of their careers. So at one particular point before Brandy comes out, it's talking about her climb and the people that talked about why Brandy is amazing in the vocal Bible. And then she comes out and she performs a few songs. Then they do something similar and it's a story. Like, it's very intentional how they plan this from beginning to end. And then they do the same for Monica. And what you see throughout in both their stories is Whitney Houston. So there's also a celebration of Whitney. And then there actually is an actual moment where they celebrate Whitney, which was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment. And then they come out and they perform a song, "Oh, I Want to Dance with Somebody." And they do that. So that was really beautiful. But to me, watching it, I was just like, oh, really? This is a celebration of their careers. If no one's going to celebrate them, they've taken this moment, this tour, because I feel like they're karmically connected. Because remember, the only Grammy that both of them have, which is horrendous, that they both have, is just For the Boy's Mind. It's horrendous. We've had so many projects from both of these women that have deserved not just the Grammy nomination, but the Grammy win. But I've digressed. But we also see how the Grammys treated Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey has, what, 5 Grammys? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You guys are ridiculous. I've never understood that. They've recently talked about it. Mariah's recently talked about it. I've always said that before. I'm like, it's insane the amount of Grammys that Mariah has, but should have in comparison to the amount of hits and iconic albums that she's put out. I wouldn't be surprised if they nominate her new album just because people are, just to kind of make up for it. But yes, this was a good album, but no, y'all need to give her some prorated Grammys. But at the end of the day, these are just awards. At the end of the day, what we think about the artist and the music and what it means to us is the most important in my head. All right. So what else? Okay. I said this before. I feel like Maya would have been a great fit because of the way that it would have segued from Maya to Kelly and then to Brandy and Monica, because they're not just up there singing R&B songs. They're not just sitting in their chairs swaying and things like, yes, they have their moments where they do that, but they're up there dancing their butts off. Shout out to the dancers. We love to celebrate the people behind the scenes. This is an amazing opportunity. There's so many dancers on this tour, which I love because this is a big tour. This is not just them doing little clubs and things like that, and they've done that. This is a huge tour that they're undertaking. So shout out to the dancers. Shout out to the entire team that are putting this together. I think it was the Black Promoters Collective or something like that. If I'm getting that wrong, I apologize. You guys are doing the damn thing, especially on socials when it comes to this tour. Because I feel like everywhere I turn, there are clips and pictures and things like that. You guys are making this happen. And look, things happen on a tour. Even Monica during the Barclays show, she had a couple of mishaps from like sound. Not her volume was down low when she first came out. Her shoe fell apart at the end. So like things happen, but it's a live show. And despite that, they still put on a hell of a show. Brandy, because I saw Brandy on Broadway a couple of times. I've seen Brandy perform a couple of times. Brandy is locked in. I've never seen Brandy dance this good. You could tell she's been working hard. Brandy, the vocals. I'm going to be very honest with you guys because I know people have said, oh my God, Brandy sounds amazing. Brandy's lipping, that kind of thing. There's definitely lipping going on. Okay. I'm going to be honest with you. There's definitely lipping because, some of these stands are going to be like, no, she's amazing. Blah, 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 blah. There's nothing wrong with lipping. Beyonce has lipped too. This doesn't take away from the fact that these women can actually sing. It's okay. It's okay if they, especially the amount of dancing that Brandy and Monica are doing. Lipping is okay because if they didn't, it could be the boy is like you don't want to hear no heavy breathing, okay? Because if you want the experience, but please understand, in order to have these backing tracks and these pre-recorded vocals, they have to sing them. They've got to sing them in the studio. So it's still them, but they're trying to give you a stellar, polished performance. And they are women of a particular age, and not everybody can do that. Not everybody can do that at 20. So there is definitely some lipping going on throughout the show, but they're putting on a show. So please understand that if you're going to go to this show. If they were just sitting in a chair and just singing songs, then I'd be like, y'all don't need to be lipping this much. But there's definitely lip syncing happening, okay? But it's okay. I know the fans are going to be like, no, she's this and she's that. She wouldn't do. Y'all need to let your stand-em go. There's definitely some lipping happening, but that's okay. Woo, woo, woo.
Fuck your flowers.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that one. I meant this one.
Woo, woo, woo.
I didn't mean that one. There's definitely some lipping going on, which is fine. They are dancing their butts off. They're giving you a stellar performance. They're having a good time. Look, even if they're lipping, ain't nobody not coming to these shows and not walking out of these shows like that was the best. That I got my 90s. People are still enjoying the show, but I would not be who I am without giving you the truth. Okay. Right. And some of those pre-recorded stuff, I'm like, ooh, you were really thinking when you were doing that. That sounded, So if I had to rate it, I would definitely give this tour an A. And I give it an A because you could see the amount of work and attention to detail that was put into it. Is it perfect? No. But this is the first time that they've ever done something like this. And can you imagine? And hence, this is probably why it took so long to kind of put this together. You have two major artists, and then you're bringing in other major artists to be part of this tour. You have to agree on a lot. You have to work together on a lot. So the fact that they were able to do this in the amount of time that they were able to do this, you got to give them their kudos. You do. You got to give them their kudos because they were able to put this together. They've been performing night after night. It's already been how many weeks since this tour started? It started, in October? We're going on their second month. All right. Well, I mean, no, now we're going, we'll take it. It started in the beginning of October. They've been touring over a month now. You got to give it to them. Again, they are women of a particular age. They were in a lot of clothes up there. I would pass out because it was hot in there and the music was loud. I'm like, oof. But they're doing the damn thing. And I'm glad that they're both getting their flowers. And when I say both, I mean Brandy and Monica, but also shout out to Money Long, shout out to Kelly Rowland. People are looking at Kelly Rowland in a different way. I think it was so smart. I know she's managed now by Rock Nation. So smart to put her on this tour because now people are seeing Kelly as the solo artist again, but also as a dynamic artist. So don't be surprised you hear Kelly going to be working on some new music. Kelly, I need you to work on that damn Donna Summer project, though. I need that to happen, and then I need you to lean in. My thing with Kelly, and this is why Kelly is where she is when it comes to her solo career, in my opinion, is the fact that she hasn't let go of the fact that she didn't embrace what people loved about her, and that was the dance. I get it. Her passion is R&B. She wants to be successful in R&B, but now R&B is not what it used to be. So, girl, we love you anyway. I think you're an amazing performer. I think everyone did a fantastic job. Money Long, you did well. Jamal, I wish I could have seen you. Guys, get there early and go show some support to Jamal. Brandy, Monica, if y'all see this, include Jamal in y'all set at some point. I think Broken Hearted would be perfect. Does Monica have a song with him? Oh, she's got Usher, that song with Usher. How about do that song with Jamal? I think you both should do it, but do it in different cities. That is my other thing. I want you guys, okay, oh wait, let's talk about the costumes. Their outfits. So I already talked about Kelly's outfit, okay? Money Long, again, her set is short. Money Long's the only one following the rules in regards to the suit. I came to in a suit. Why is no one else coming in a suit? Huh? Beyonce even came in a suit. Just saying. But it doesn't have to be an actual suit. Beyonce even did the play on the suit kind of thing. I love that she follows rules. She's a rule follower. Let's talk about the costumes because I have some thoughts on the costumes. Brandy, whatever outfit that is at the end for the boys' mind, girl, throw it out. Come on, throw it out. That outfit and the outfit when you do I Thought and those other songs, throw those out. I don't know why you're wearing these bulky, it doesn't flatter you at all. I don't like it. Get rid of it. Even the hats feel like it looks like a helmet instead of a hat. Get rid of that too. I love her first look when she first comes out with that Louis Vuitton jacket that Tyler Perry was wearing the other day too. But anyway, I also like when she switches up and she's wearing the leather jacket. But Brandy, that I Thought outfit, get rid of that. And especially because this is our last time that we're seeing you on the stage before you end the show. Why are you in that? It looks like a virus. And you know this is coming from love, but I'm that type of friend. I'm going to tell you. And you lucky I'm not backstage. I'm like, Brandy, if you really want my thoughts, what is this? No, get rid of it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And you still have a few more dates. Get rid of it. And I don't know. Look, some people, here's the thing. Some people, depending on what they're comfortable in, they like their things baggy, flowy, whatever. But Brandy, you know what outfit I did love? I love her Almost Doesn't Count outfit when she does that and put that on everything. I love her first outfit. She looks stunning in those. And when she comes out in the white and she does Have You Ever, I like that outfit because it's a play off of the theme. But that last outfit with the virus looking thing, the COVID outfit, that's what I'm going to call it, the COVID outfit. Girl, wrap it up. Please, someone clip this and send this to Brandy right now. Let me think about Monica's outfits. For the most part, Monica's outfits I've enjoyed. And she's made some changes since the tour began because that first outfit, I think when you were wearing white, I was like, I don't like this. But for the most part, but here's the thing. Monica, in recent years, she's really gotten into her fashion. You see a lot of the stuff that she's been sharing on social media. So she's been cultivating some of her fashion and she knows what works for her body. And I have to say, for the most part, I've liked her fashion. I like that she's changing up her hair and doing different colors and things like that. Brandy, come on, girl. Yes, come on. You keep saying that Monica keeps helping you up your game. So let her up the fashion game, girl, because that COVID outfit, please, wrap it up. Wrap it up, okay? Was there anything else that I wanted to share? I thought, what else was there? Was there anything else that I wanted to share in regards to this? All right, I'm going to wrap it up, y'all. I've already been talking for over an hour. So this was a good, juicy podcast episode and video. I'll drop the video after the podcast. Okay? So be sure to check out the podcast. But if you're listening to this and maybe you stumbled upon me, maybe you were listening to someone else and you're like, who's this Kempire guy? Does he just talk housewives? I don't like housewives. No, this episode was all about 90s R&B, okay, and this tour. And shout out to our community knows. We talk about everything in pop culture. And when I first started Kempire Radio, and there were housewives, but I talked about mostly music and entertainment and things like that. So there's so much for everyone here on the channel and on the podcast. So subscribe today, and don't forget to give us a review. Don't forget to like this video if you're watching the video version as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this special episode, my review of the Boys Mine tour. And I'll let you guys know if I decide to go to another city. I better figure it out soon. What city should I go to? Maybe we'll do a meet and greet. Maybe. Bye, y'all.
Here we go now.